Okay, I think we're gonna have a really great session here. So our main topic for today is gonna be focusing on to our cloud world. As you know, cloud market in Thailand for the last 10 years have exploded. The technologies that we are seeing in the market, where there's a public cloud, we have many major Western companies, for example, AWS, Azure, GCP coming to Thai market. We are starting to have data centers in Thailand now, and in other world, we are also having private cloud providers, top companies coming investing in data centers. As we see many companies here in this event. So let's start our discussion today with my first question here. So I want to know from Dr. first, Dr. Hap, what's the cloud strategy that you're going right now with your Go Wholesale product, and what's the strategy? You are still going with the public cloud, or you have a both hybrid, on-premises, private cloud, public cloud? I just want to know the strategy.
Yeah, actually, we born as the per designs, right? On 100% of the clouds, either public cloud or private clouds. We have the mixture of that. Yeah, one of the public cloud is hosting our apps online, so everyone can purchase our product online. But in terms of the private cloud, is something that we use for our core merchandising systems to manage all those the buy and sales, vendors, interactions, item, and all those kind of things. But recently, we found that the cloud cost is a little bit high. So, and one of the issue that I face is on some of the applications that need interactions directly to the store. For example, we have ESL applications, right? ESL stands for electronic shelf labels, which is directly interact at the store. We implement 100% of that. The first company that implement 100% of that. So building that system on the private cloud or the public cloud itself slow down our performance, and it will cost us like a lot. So we decided to move that down to the on-prem in every single store. So that lead to the mixture between private, public, and also on-prem kind of perspective until today. Yeah.
I think that's a really good insight. I think you have gone with the kind of a bundle of everything and going through all the best usage of that. Before we moving forward, I'd like to discuss with Nuttanai as well, as one of the top telecom providers, IT companies in Thailand. I want to know what are the services that have you been providing? What are the clients' requirements that you're getting? That are they requesting moving towards more public, or they still want to stay at on premises, or they want to have their own private cap?
So actually, from my standpoint, we actually have two use case. Internal on our company as a telecommunication, mostly we use hybrid cloud. So some information and some data that we keep inside on our own server, but some of the workforce who actually need to work outside and need to access the data we do on the public, right? So we mix it between private and public for ourselves. But there's so many customers that we are engaging with. For example, the police department, there's some sensitive data, for example, the criminal record or the bio information, they need to keep it private. So we see a lot of the customer who want to do fully private cloud at the moment, but they cannot move there. So I think Thailand in the next 2 to 3 years from now, we still see a lot of hybrid cloud at the moment. There will be a lot of use case of the hybrid cloud, but there will be some customer, for example, the electric company who actually generate all the information. Right now, they are upgrading their accounting system, SAP new system. They want to do it private because the data is so sensitive. Because if it go out and then somebody, if it leaked, then somebody probably use it for some other purpose. So I think there will be still hybrid at the moment, and then in the future we will see more private cloud in the future.
All right, thank you, Hab. That's really good insight, both in the government projects that you are sharing from the police department of this and that, and you also have a public companies that are investing in a much more private cloud. Hab. Before moving to the next question, I just want to know, what are your experiences that you are facing? So basically, in a cloud world, we have one big dilemma to choose: either performance or cost. There's either one thing that need to be sacrificed. So in the last 3 years, what are the trends that you're seeing? Are the company much more willing to pay more than their current expense, or they just want to have a limited budget and get the best out of it? So how's the trend?
Yeah, I think this is a tricky question because every time when we engage with the customer, they always want two things at the same time. But what I can share on this one is cost is the most important. performance can come, but sometimes we can wait a little bit for performance. But if we're losing the money every single second, then the business cannot go on. So I think cost is super important when we engage with the customer, including for ourselves. We always asking ourselves whether we want it's the right size or we want to go oversize. Every time we ask this question, we always go back. Let's decide something that right side first, because right side will make the business case to move forward. And once we utilize the right size, and then we want a little bit extra for the performance, we can use the use case or the profit from the project or whatsoever to justify the performance as a next step. So I think this is something that the dilemma of cost or performance, I would choose to go with the cost first because the cost will make the business work.
Thank you very much, Kap. I think that's a really good statement there. Dr. Kap, as a internal product, as a Go Wholesale is a much more internal product where you provide to your own in-house development. What about here? So what's the more sensitive here? Are you guys willing to have a dynamic budgets to have that in order to get that performance? Or you guys stick to the cost and willing to sacrifice some of the performance if not needed?
Yeah, first of all, I like Dr. Nuttanai idea pretty much, right? And from my perspective in terms of Go Wholesale, we implement something called like FinOps. FinOps stand for the finance operations. It's come with three angles. One is the performance, another one is the data center cost, another one is business operation perspective. All this need to be aligned. Some of the costs can be very high. So if that high and increase the sales or generate the sales revenue, it can be still acceptable. But if the cost very high, but you have a very low in terms of performance of the staff or performance of the revenue, we need to look at it and adjust it. So we balance out between those three. So I think we call it financial operations perspective.
All right. I think that's a really good keyword that you have provided, FinSop. This is a really good term. I think in the last 5 years, especially in Thai market, we are getting more and more introduced towards this FinSop concept, which is, I think a lot of major providers in the cloud world, they are kind of embedding this technology, this concept into the usage before making any decisions towards the public cloud or private cloud. คุณนัทนายครับ I want to ask you one question more. As your company has been established for so long in IT industry in Thailand, especially in the network, one of the top companies. So have you faced like any modernized issues? Because we have seen the technology in Thai market now has been here. Thai companies are adopting for the last 10 years, rapidly adopting to the cloud world. But some of the companies do already have invest a big money into the IT way back than before cloud came. So, in terms of modernization, what are the techniques that you are using in order to make that successful modernize happen to both public cloud users and the one that are also choosing the private cloud as well? So, how's the technique that you go with this modernization?
I think for modernization, as we all know, that technology is changing every day. When we engage to the customer, even a government or the enterprise company, or even for ourselves, we always think about the value that we can extract from the investment. So when we go, we need to classify that the legacy system that we existing have, if we ditch it, we take it out and then we change to a new one. How we gotta utilize the investment that we already make, unless it's already break even. Most of the time when I engage for the customer, I try to find some workload that still can be in the legacy system. And then we move the workload that need a little bit more performance or need something that more agile to the cloud. And then we just see until the legacy system is break even. So I think moving to cloud is take some time. We cannot move from legacy system to 100% cloud, or we cannot move from 100% cloud to legacy system, vice versa. So I think it's need to hybrid between what work for each of the workload. And then we justify by the cost of the business. And then I think that's how we modernize with the customer. I'm going to give you example of the police customer as mentioned. there's some area, for example, if we go to the police station and then I'm the criminal, they need to validate whether I have the used to action like that before or not. Then the processing power, they need to cross check all the 70 million people. So that's how the thing cannot go on the legacy system. It need to go to the cloud and then processing at a very fast. Otherwise, we have to wait until tomorrow or whatever in the jail. So that's how the thing we move. But for the record of each of the criminal case, we can keep it in the legacy system in the computer in the server, and then we can send as a batch on the tomorrow or whatsoever. So I think we see this kind of the trend, and I believe this trend will be exist for the next 3 to 5 years. And that underline is to help the cost is more optimization and is help cloud to happen in the more efficiency way.
All right. Thank you very much. Kap. Moving to Dr. back one more time. How do you tackle the same thing, Kap, that you're facing that I think we just introduced?
I think we can divide that into two parts. The first part is what we are doing now. Probably not still good enough because the technology is changing every day, like Dr. Nuttanai is mentioned, right? So we still have to start from the application side, whether we are doing good enough. If it's not, so we try to containerize or like wrap and go in some of the area that still outperform out of the current private cloud to be public cloud, for example. And another thing is on the data structure and data center side. So we have to make it something more accessibility, and at the same time we have to be able to control all those in terms of PDPA. We call that TAP technique. One is the technical, another one is physical, and another one is administrative control. So all those TAP is very important to make sure that at least some of the people of our staff can access to the right data to the right time with the quality of the data as well. This is pretty much a core of our implementation terms. Kap.
I think this is a really good insight on how to kind of maintain both a new world technology and some kind of the old world technology that are still there. I think, as you mentioned, Doctor, having many runways to support each critical business use case, I think that is a really good concept that both of you have introduced. So, yeah, I would like to touch on the last point of the C, which is compliance. As we know, compliance have a lot of time that need to be invested, both in terms of the legal stuff. Once you got the idea from the legal team, you need to invest that into IT team as well. Make sure that they understand the PDPA, all the legal stuff. For example, if you're going into international market, they also have their own requirements of security and compliance. So I just want to know, Nathan, I will start with you how you are right now choosing the best perfect spot between being fully compliant and not breaking down your innovation and your agility of delivering the new technology.
I think we need to understand same concept first. Compliance is not bad, it's good because compliance is actually keep us on track. If we are not compliant, then we do something whatsoever and then we cannot track whether we are on the right track or not. So compliance is good. But in terms of doing compliance and not block the innovation, I think we need to classify into two tracks. The track that we need to fully comply and then go along the way, this have to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's it. That's fully compliant. But some of the other track, we need to create another infrastructure for cloud infrastructure for the innovation to a little less comply, not 100% comply or zero comply, but a little less comply. So have some creativity or some other option to be innovation. So in our company, we always 70-30. 70, everybody need to comply on certain standard and certain point. And then 30, we are implement 50% comply. And then 50% you can just go out of the block. So I think by implementing this, the company can still run with compliance as well as the innovation. So I think that's our way that we are doing. And I see a lot of customers trying to do the same thing in different percentage. Maybe some very stick, they probably 90 and then 10 for innovation, something like that. But my recommendation is to have two separate infrastructure under the same umbrella to leave it for the people who actually in each domain.
All right. I think that's a really good. Then, Dr. Kap, I would like to, due to time is already up, I would like to quickly want to wrap up. I would like to start with you, Kap, Doctor. In terms of internal product that you guys are providing to the customer, so you guys are direct B2C, what's next for private cloud in cloud world for 3 to 5 years for the cloud world?
Actually, we both B2B and B2C. We sell the product to the entrepreneur, who in the hotel, restaurant, and cafe as well. From my point of view, next 3 to 5 years, the cloud probably look more blended in terms of private and public, but there will be wrapped with the automations more, especially in Thailand, right? Not only infrastructure side, but in terms of compliance, need to be wrapped with around, and also we should. I mean, right now, that we have an AI era right now, right? So the AI will blend it, all those solutions together, meaning that if you want to grant access to particular software or particular physical touch of the servers, we can just like open the chat and ask them to just grant all those permission to particular infrastructure to the particular people, those kind of things. So I would say it will be more automated and AI perspective rather than today. Yeah.
That's really exciting ครับ and คุณนัทนายครับ I would like to end with you what do you think as a service provider what's the 3 to 5 years for our cloud world
Yeah, it's very short for me. So I believe, and I think everybody here believes the same thing, that cloud is not an option. It's how we live these days. We are in the cloud era already. So in order to move forward in the next 3 to 5 years, we need to find the way to adapt cloud to our life. The good thing about cloud that I want to end here is cloud is flexible. We don't stick with something. We can move from A to B to C to whatever. So when the technology change, we can always choose the best that's good for the company. So I'm still happy to see that cloud is increasing. I'm happy to see a lot of hyperscaler coming to Thailand. So I think that will be the next era that's very interesting.
all right I think this is a perfect panel that we got the insight in the cloud world so please give a round of applause to panelists today thank you very much ครับ
ขอบคุณครับ